Living in and around Boulder, Colorado, there are a lot of super fit people. I see them out on the trails. I see them out, on tracks. I see them climbing mountains. And by and large, they rarely look like they're having a good time. Is that what it takes to be fit? We're going to find out more about that on today's episode of the Movement, the podcast for people who want to know the truth about what it takes to have a happy, healthy, strong body, starting feet first, usually, because those things at the end of your legs are, in fact, your foundation. We also break down the propaganda, the mythology, sometimes the outright lies you've been told about what it takes to, run, walk, hike, do yoga, CrossFit, whatever you like to do, and to do it enjoyably and efficiently and effectively. And did I say enjoyably? Of course I did. It's a trick question. I always say that because if you're not having fun, you're not going to keep it up anyway. So, we're going to talk about that more on today's podcast. I am Stephen Sashen, co-founder and chief barefoot officer here at Zero Shoes. And we call it the movement because we, and that includes you, more about that in a second, are creating a movement about natural movement, having your body do what it's made to do instead of getting in the way with things that are sold as benefits but aren't necessarily that. So the way you help the movement is really simple. Just spread the word. So go over to www.jointhemovementmovement.com. You'll find all the places you can enjoy this podcast if you're not liking the one where you already found it. You'll find all the previous episodes, of which there are a lot, and you can enjoy those. You'll find all the places that you can find us on social media. And just give us a thumbs up, give us a 5-star rating, spread the look, you know the drill. If you want to be part of the tribe, just subscribe. So here we go. Ariana, do me a favor, tell people who you are and what you are doing here, and then let's have some fun. So here we go.
Great introduction. Yeah, my name is Ariana Hakman. I am the owner of the LunaFit universe. It encompasses many things: a fitness center in Central Florida, a meal prep company, a small health and fitness supplement company, and a
You're
fantastic
full.
mobile app that we are launching.
So we're having some glitchy audio video things. So let's deal with that because it hasn't been too bad. Just
Okay.
cut out for a second or two. But if it gets
Yep.
bad, we might have to restart things. But let's keep going
Okay.
and see if we can. So first things first, for those people who are watching, you have the most colorful background and most interesting background of anyone that I've ever talked to. So you got to just tell me what the hell is going on there. And if anyone is not watching, go check out the video because maybe the glitch is because you're clearly talking to us from outer space.
Yes, I am all about outer space. LunaFit is about the moon, and our whole app is actually space themed. So we do the space thing at LunaFit. So when I asked for a podcast room that really would just be functional, this is what my marketing and creative team came up with. And it's really super simple, super cheap. It's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. It's literally some foam black panels on the back wall, two lights that we got off of Amazon, and then a moon lamp. But it looks amazing, and I love sitting in here.
Yeah, you really could have sold the story and told people that you're on the space station or something else. So I'm going to pretend that's what you said, and we'll just edit that
I
in
know.
because that's way more fun than spending a couple bucks on Amazon. But I love it. I mean, I just have, a few grand worth of shoes behind me, but
Yes, I like the shoes. They're very attractive.
well, thank you very much. So, the topic du jour, like I brought up, it really does blow my mind. There's a comic who used to do a joke that I love. He said, I love driving my car behind runners at the speed I think they should be running. And because they never look happy, so why don't we give them some incentive? And this is the thing that I see often, the whole ethos of no pain, no gain, and that if you're going to get fit, it has to be difficult. I mean, this is what many people believe. And now, granted, I will confess the workouts that I do are exceptionally hard. They're like freakishly difficult. But that makes me unbelievably happy because I'm an idiot. And
I will
but
put myself in the same boat. I lift heavy things and I love it.
well, I'm 63, so I'm lifting lighter things more, and I'm lifting them until I can't lift them over and over and over. And there's nothing more embarrassing than grabbing a 5-pound weight on, the third set of something and going, yeah, I can't move that thing. So, but it's just been incredibly, incredibly satisfying. In fact, I mean, the guy that I work with says, all the people that work with me are little nuts because the workouts are really hard. And I just want you to know that in the category of people who are willing to push as hard as humanly possible, you're at the top of that list. And so I feel pretty proud about that. But
For
again, the
sure.
point is, while during the thing it's unbearably difficult, I love everything else about it. And we can get into that. But so that's the topic du jour, and up to you.
Yeah, so no pain, no gain. I will say that I am a little bit of a meathead when it comes to stuff like that. I do believe that workouts tend to be a little bit painful, but I very much like that you always put the enjoyable spin on it because I don't feel like people have to work out like that to be as healthy or as fit as they want to. Health and fitness shouldn't be hard, it should be fun. You can make some very simple habit changes that will literally revolutionize your health and fitness and life. So, I'm always very big on, yeah, your workouts might be a little painful and you would have to chase me with a car to get me to run, but it shouldn't be hard and you should be able to enjoy aspects of it.
So, oh, you made me think of something, and then I lost the thought entirely. No pain, no gain, making it hard. Oh, one of the things people ask me all the time, they go, how do you get motivated to fill in the blank? And my response is always, if you have to do something to then get motivated to do some other thing, something is wrong. What's your take on the whole idea of motivation when it comes to fitness and exercise?
Yeah, I don't think that people are honestly very good at being motivated or keeping motivation. I think that motivation is something that's kind of like a flash in the pan. So, like one day you're motivated, but the next day you probably won't be. So, I always like to move to the word discipline. And then I think discipline is based on goals. So, if you have a goal for yourself and you create a plan to get there, you really just have to be disciplined to carry it out. So, I definitely do things in my like fitness life that I enjoy. I do enjoy working out, but I also do other things like, swimming and walking and things that are probably more enjoyable for me. But I have the discipline to go to the gym because I have a goal for myself that I have muscles so that I can eat more, honestly. More muscles, more calories you get to eat. And, in my life right now, there's an expectation that I, lean a little bit more towards the fitness model looking side with the app coming out. And there's an avatar of me in it, and I'm very fit. So I have to fit the bill. But that's not most people's goal. So if they can find the discipline just to move every day, get some steps in, do a movement, an exercise that they truly enjoy, that's enough. Your body will respond really well to that.
I'm gonna have you come back to the, sort of tips for getting started and doing it in a way that's enjoyable, but I want to riff on what you said. So when I started this workout plan that I've been doing now for about a year, and I've been an athlete since I was 7, with, a couple of breaks where I got massively depressed because I couldn't find the thing to do. But I've been incredibly consistent, and in part it's because I'm accountable to someone, and frankly, someone who I'm paying a good amount of money for. And it's also someone I adore. If I didn't like this guy, I wouldn't be able to put up with it at all.
Yeah.
But my sister asked me, she's, why are you doing this? And I said, well, A, I want to see if I can put on more muscle before I know I can't, because at a certain point it just goes down. B, I want to like what I see when I look in the mirror more often. And I do look in the
Absolutely.
mirror more often. And, it's getting pretty fun. And then C, I, like it when my wife goes, oh my, either what she sees or what she feels. And
Heck yeah.
and I also will admit that I get a kick out of when, random people, when I say I'm 63, they're like, sorry, what? So I don't want to tell you what percentage out of 100 each one of those is. Although I think the one I get the most enjoyment out of is when I'm getting dressed in the morning and go, check that shit out. I didn't have that a little while ago. So,
Yeah, right? Progress.
so yeah, the progress thing, I mean, that's another thing, even with discipline. Actually, there's one other part that I'm curious what your thoughts are. As a track athlete, especially an old track athlete, there's no reason for doing this. I mean, it's really hard. There's no bonus points, there's no prize money, there's no sponsorship deals. And also, those of us who do this, we're stupidly competitive, and happily old enough to know that it's stupid to be this competitive, but also old enough to know that's just the way it is. But what I found is, over my years competing, the only way for me to have that kind of discipline, and it comes back to the accountability, I think, is to have a partner. And so, what's your take on working out alone versus working out in any other circumstance so that the discipline is not just, I mean, look, I'm not a disciplined guy. If you look around my office, look around any place where there's a horizontal surface, you will find more crap than there should be, because discipline and organization is not my thing. So, talk to me about that if you could.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the thing that's great about what you said is that you know yourself. And so you know that to create that discipline to do the things you want to do, you need an accountability partner. And it's funny, like our original fitness center slogan was fitness, nutrition, accountability, because most people aren't going to do health and fitness on their own. It's not something that, unfortunately, anymore comes naturally. And so we have to create those accountability partners. Right now, my accountability for myself is that I have expectations because of the business I'm in.
Yeah,
Now, if
you're,
I didn't work in this business,
yeah.
I think I would have to. I used to have, before I was a personal trainer, I used to have a personal trainer. So I think it really is important to find, a trainer or just someone in your life who has the same goals as you, where you can be accountable to each other. Because if I ever get out of this industry, I will have to have that again because I'm not sure anyone is naturally disciplined all the time to do those things unless they have
No.
a reason or a goal.
Yeah, no, things come up in life and, discipline comes and goes. And to be clear, one of the things, I think it's a little more than just having a partner, at least in my experience, because if it's not someone that I really love, then, and want to hang out with, then it just becomes another form of sort of beating yourself over the whatever with a whatever.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and, like I said at the beginning, it's like if you're not having fun, do something different until you are. And the fun part might not be the workout. It might be hanging out afterwards. I just remember,
Company. Yeah.
do you know, and you're not a runner, so you probably don't know this. And I'm not a distance runner, so I only know it vicariously. Do you know about the Hash House Harriers?
No, but I actually want to say we actually have in common. I used to be a track and field sprinter.
Oh, sweet. What was your event?
Yeah. 50 is the shorter the better. I actually heard your podcast and that you got back into it at 40, at 45, I think you said.
Yeah,
And I'm 44 and I was like, man, maybe I want to start
do
doing
it.
that again. I used to
Do it.
love it.
Well, and I love that you said the 50's your event. So I'm a 50, 60 meter indoor, depending on the track, 100-meter outdoor, but I'm a much better 50, 60 runner than a 100-meter runner. There's a handful of us. There's a guy that I raced against in nationals who world champion in the 50 or the 60, again, depending on the track, does really well in the 100, but has a shit 200, same as me. I mean, I'm just like wired for like that, 7.5 to 8.5 seconds. And
Yes.
no, Master Track and Field is a blast because, again, we're all a bunch of crazy people. And so I've literally not met anyone on the track who I don't adore because
Yeah.
it's just loopy as all crap. So,
I really do think I'm going to look into it. It just sounds fun and I am idiot competitive.
well, yeah. And your neighborhood, there's a lot going on. So, look at Masters
Ooh.
Track, or I can't remember, just go to usatf.org and you'll find links to the master stuff. And all I can tell you, what I will warn you in advance, is that your brain will think you're younger than you are.
Yeah, I think I experience that every day already.
Yeah, there is that. It took me literally 2 years to realize that when my brain says, "Hey, let's just do one more," that's the time to go home.
Yes. Okay. I will definitely take that tip and remember it.
Okay, it's a good one. So yeah, so the Hash House Harriers, I'm trying to remember what their motto is. It's something like, drinkers with a running problem. And so what they do, this crazy cross country race, it's like a nutty cross country race that ends up at some place where they all have a beer. And so it's just a bunch of, goofy people making running even goofier and then all hanging out and having a beer. I mean,
I love that.
yes, if I liked doing anything other than short straight line in under 10 seconds, I'd be all over it.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I really do think that's what it's all about. I think you do have to put an aspect of fun into it, and a lot of people come into our fitness center or looking for meals or whatever because they do have some sort of a goal that is fun for them, a vacation, a wedding, there's a big event. And we're always talking to them about that's great. We will get you to where you want to be for that event. But then after that event, what's your plan? Because this needs to be a lifestyle change. You don't want to do this and then lose all the progress you made and go back to where you were before. So how do we get you from I'm getting ready for this event to this is my new life and this is what I'm going to do. And my life is an event in where I want to be healthy and fit and the best version of myself. And that doesn't mean a certain weight and it doesn't mean, you have to be a fitness model. It's just being healthy internally and externally.
Well, you maybe just think of something that I never really fully took in until this moment. I think we undervalue the value of vanity. In other words, one of the reasons that I do this, whether it's just me looking in the mirror at myself or wanting other people to look at it and go, ooh and ah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm literally saying that out loud for the first time. I used to joke about it. I used to say for my sprinting training, I do nothing but things for the posterior chain, glutes and hamstrings and calves. That's all I really care about. But then I do some curls and, some bench pressing for vanity. But I always kind of, poo-pooed that, like that was a bad thing that I'm kind of,
Yes.
that I'm sort of admitting something a little, I don't know what the word is, but you know what? I'm currently going, I think vanity is a good goal.
Yeah, that's actually, I've never really thought about it, but I agree. And I actually also joke about being vain because that is one of the reasons that I do some of what I do. Like I am a little bit vain. I do want to look a certain way. I have certain expectations for myself. So that's really interesting you said that. And I agree. I don't think it should be necessarily a bad thing. I think wanting to look your best is equal to wanting to feel your best. And I think that's different for everybody. And that's the beautiful thing about different levels of health and fitness and,
Well, it's
working to the level of fit that you want to be. So, I eat in a way that not everybody has to eat because no one, has to maintain a body fat percent that I'm maintaining. There's a whole range of healthy body fats and healthy looks. And you just have to find where the level of effort matches up with the level of healthy that you're comfortable with. That's what I always tell people.
I like that. And I'm going to lean into this vanity thing a little bit more because what occurs to me is the balancing act with admitting that some of why you might be doing something is in some part, small or large, about vanity. You have to come to grips with the other side of that, which is you can't look at a picture of someone else and go, I want to look like that, because you're going to look like how you do it. And you're typically looking at genetic freaks if you're looking at pictures of people that are in magazines or whatever else. But there's certain things that we're going to be that you're going to always have a body part that is your favorite and one that you hate no matter what. It ain't going to
Yep.
change. That's the way it is. And in a way, that's part of the thing that I'm also kind of enjoying. Like, oh, okay, here's what I know I can do. Here's what I know. I mean, I'm never going to get to look like a certain thing, but I'm going to look like, let's just say, the better or best version of me that I can do at this time. And I don't know why. I mean, it's really, for whatever reason, I've never gone down this road, but that's been really valuable for me in the last year in particular. Is like, here's what I
Yeah.
can do, here's what I can't do, here's what might change, here's what probably won't change. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give this one to people just so they know. I don't care how much you've been lifting over how much period of time, once you hit a certain age, and you can even see this in professional bodybuilders, look and see what stays and look and see what goes. And I'll give you the hint, the legs go. Just the way it is, unless you were juicing like crazy. And even then, I've seen some pro bodybuilders who are, my age and older, still taking a shit ton of steroids, and the legs go. And
Yeah.
so deal with it.
Yeah. Right.
They can look,
No, I mean,
yeah,
I
they
think
can look
that's,
okay, but they're not going to look
yeah.
like the way they did when you were, riding your bike 20 miles a day when you were in your 20s.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, recovery is so different too. So no,
Oh,
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I think that it is great to want to like the best version of yourself. I think that's a great goal for everybody. And also that it will look different as you get older.
I just had a flashback. Many people don't know that one of the things that Jack LaLanne was famous for, many people don't remember Jack LaLanne, massive fitness guru in the 60s, well, probably from the 50s on. And when he was in his 90s, one of the things he did, he co-invented, I think, the universal gym, one of the first like, all-in-one workout pieces of equipment. You could find it at every high school in the world, it seemed, in the 70s and 80s. And when he was at like 92, they had a video of him on the universal bench pressing. And he's like, but getting in the reps. And if you look carefully, he was lifting 20 pounds. But, that's what he could do at 92. And I'm cool with that. I mean, I was at the
Yeah.
World Master Track and Field Championships in Finland like 15 years, 16 years ago. And there was a guy there who was 101. And he came out to do the field
Wow.
events, like on his walker, came out, put the walker down, they hand him the shot. He does the shot put, the thing go, and by that age, I think it weighs like 2 pounds, and it goes like 10 feet, and the crowd goes insane because everyone's thinking, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I don't care if there was 2 pounds. I want to be that guy.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's definitely a goal for me. I think as I transitioned over the past about 10 years, health and fitness has looked different for me. My
So
goals are a little bit different and aging well and keeping my mobility and, you know, being able to do things that others can't as we age is something that's become really a top of mind for me. And it's something that I talk to more and more people about of why they want to be healthy and fit because I almost think that it's one of the best reasons. If you can look into your future, you don't want to be the person in the wheelchair. You don't want to
Right.
be the person that's hunched over. You want to be able to still play with your grandkids, be healthy and fit, be mobile. I just think it's something that's so important to really think about how you want to age.
Well, I'm curious why you think people give up on that idea, and this is then going to lead into your tips for how to get the ball rolling. Because it does seem to me that there's certain people, I mean, I even see this with former high-level athletes who now can do nothing. And I'm just perplexed by that. So, I mean, I can understand if you had a long competitive career and everything you're doing was about competing and you can't compete any longer, you don't want to compete anymore any longer, that could have a psychological impact. But even
Yeah.
then, I mean, yeah, what's your take on why people tend to mm, give up on that idea or however you want to frame it? And then let's talk about the ways that you've experienced and worked with people to get them going again.
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things. I feel like so it brings me to thinking about businesses and why businesses close. And businesses most of the time close because they don't evolve. They
Mm,
don't move their goals. They don't keep up with their customers. They don't do the things to keep them going through the years. And I almost think it's the same thing, especially with competitive athletes. I think that they aren't able to see a different goal besides winning. And so their whole life, some of those people, since they can remember, has been about competing and winning. And I think it's really hard when they lose that ability for them to evolve and transition to the next goal and
mm,
to see into the future. And I think all of us have a little bit of problem sometimes looking into our future and imagining what that's going to look like or having that as a goal because it's not tangible. People love tangible things they can touch, things they can feel, close goals. But sometimes you really have to, look to the next, what's next?
yeah.
What's my next goal? What's my next evolution? Okay, I can't compete now to win, but do I want to be able to do something else or even master stuff? So just changing your expectations of what you're winning. So you might not be a
Yeah.
pro anymore, but for a football player, go out and play flag football. I love football. Any kind of football I can play, I think is a good time. I think you really just have to evolve. I think we have to evolve as we get older and have different expectations of ourselves. And the shot put of that guy that was 101 is a perfect example of that. He's evolved. He's changed his expectations. He's changed his goals. He still has a great time. He's still, out to do things that he loves. And I think that's where the beauty of it comes in is being able to do that. But it's hard. I think that's hard. I
Yeah.
think that's a hard thing to do.
Well, I mean, the good thing with Masters Athletics is the goals do change for you. So,
Yeah.
like to become an All-American, you have to, in any of the track events, you have to hit you have to hit a certain time. And as you get older, the time gets longer. So,
Thank goodness.
well, yes, but it's like, oh, on the one hand, it's like I'm not running that fast. On the other hand, at least I'm hitting an All-American time. And that literally is my goal, is just to keep hitting All-American times. If I can do that, then I'm thrilled, even if I'm getting progressively slower. So that's the way it is. So, okay, so let's go back to you for the win on your
Yeah.
tips for people getting that ball rolling. I don't know why I'm using that metaphor over and over and over, but there it is.
It's okay. Yeah. So, over the years, we've worked with tons of clients on health and fitness and nutrition. And a lot of what we hear and the feedback we get of why people don't do it on their own or they start and stop or they try so many things is because it feels hard to them. So, one of the things that I've found really important is okay, it doesn't have to be this hard. Let's make it simple for you. Let's make it so that it's something that you can, move into slowly. So, we usually focus on 5 simple habit changes. Now, simple doesn't mean easy. You do have to change, you do have to be willing to commit to doing certain things, but they are simple. So, one of them is just being active and moving. We usually do that by steps, especially for people that sit all day. So, get your steps in, 7 to 10,000 a day. You're active or you found a fun way to work out. Say you play tennis or you do something like that, or you swim. That's being active. But really making sure that activity spreads across the week and it's not just 2 days a week as well. Because if I'm trying to lose body fat, I do go into the gym and I work out, but the amount of calories I burn in a lifting workout is not enough to really get me to where I want to be. So I have to not sit all day. I have to get up and I have to move and I have to be committed to that 6 or 7 days a week. And so that's always the first one is just move. being active, committing to park further from the grocery store, take the stairs, just those little choices that you can make differently in your day that will help you to be more active and move.
That that
Um,
that park further away thing is something I think about all the time, but the efficiency geek in me just circles that fucking lot until I find a spot that's two doors, two
oh my
spots
goodness.
away.
I feel like you and I have a lot of very strange similarities, like no joke, because I preach that to people. I will say it to anyone who's looking to be more active, but I will not park far away. I park as close as I can get, and I have usually one aisle at the stores that I like to park in.
Yeah, no, I'm the exact same way. I've thought about the only way that I think I can convince myself to park farther away is if I buy a car that's expensive enough that I don't want it to get dinged up. And, I'll
Yeah.
park it really far away because no one else will be around. Then I'll do it. But otherwise, if I have a car that it's not a big deal to get a ding taken out, I'm going to circle the Costco lot for an hour if I have to.
I am right there with you. But that is not what I'm telling others to do because they need to get their steps in, and I'm really trying to help them. And I find ways to be active that are different than that. And I do take the stairs. Um,
Uh, well, we got we
the
got a
second one
dog.
is drinking water.
Oh,
Oh, see, that's great.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
getting a dog. Well, one of the reasons, I mean, look, just to do that tangent, one of the
Yeah.
reasons we did get a dog is that A, we have great office dogs, and then my wife started working from home more, and she said, I got to get up, and I miss the office dogs, so we ended up, happily getting a delightful dog, and so that's, a good hour and a half worth of walking for me every day, which is great. And but anyway, that was a bit of a tangent that we got to do because you glitched for a second, but now you're on to water, which I'm holding in my hand and will drink as soon as you start talking.
I always have water with me, but it's really a very underrated tool for feeling better, looking better, losing weight. Being dehydrated can cause a lot of issues that people don't even realize are happening. So, we tell everybody to aim for half their body weight in ounces at the minimum. But drinking water is really hard for some people. So, making sure that they just always have water with them in whatever form they like to drink it in. Like, I love straw cups. I don't know why, but I do. I drink more. I just do better. So, like, I usually will focus on that if I have the ability to. So, that's tip number two. And that one I think is pretty easy. I will say, when I started drinking water, I'm going to give away all my secrets for some reason. I used to hate water. And so, I would actually I was like, I'm going to teach myself to drink water. So, I started with half juice and half water. And then over time, I took the amount of juice down, and now I love water. Like, it's the main thing. I drink water and wine.
That's
I
a
say I'm like
riot.
people in Jesus' days.
Someone give you a
Those are
tip.
the main
His
things I
wife is
drink.
in the hospital, like I think, doing something crazy, like having a baby. And so he got one of the cups that they have that was like, 64 ounces and it's graduated and
Yes.
has a straw. And so when you actually can see that, that's very different than, trying to have X number of glasses, which is a whole
Yes.
different thing. It's like when it's right in front of, and maybe this is me. If it's not right in front of me, it doesn't exist. So if I have a big
Yep.
thing, that's something that I am paying attention to and I'll deal with it. If it's not there, then I don't know what the universe looks like.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I totally agree. The third one is sleep. It's another one that people really struggle with, but it makes such a huge difference, especially for women, I'll say, on the weight loss side. If you're getting less than 6 hours of sleep, your hormones are affecting the amount of weight that you can lose, and it will hurt you in what you're trying to do for your goals. So we always say 6 to 8 hours. I know it's hard, but you can develop better sleep habits and it will change everything. It'll change the way you feel, it'll change your performance at work and at play. So we really tell people, please try and get some sleep. The fourth
That
one
one's a
is working out.
Sorry, wait, I'm going to stick on
Yeah.
sleep for a second.
No, yeah,
Not
go.
just that, personally, that one's a tricky one for me. I mean, I'm getting enough hours per se, if you want to think of it that way,
Yeah.
but but it's not really good quality sleep, and I'm wrestling with that one just as an FYI. And I've been playing with a number. I mean, I have mild sleep apnea, so I've been trying a couple of different things to deal with that to see if that makes a difference. My sleep hasn't really so far. So that one, I'm tossing that one out there. Not that we're going to solve this problem for everybody right now, but I mean, A, if you have any thoughts about it, that's great.
Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to go for a free session, but I think I'm not the only one, especially as one gets older, it can get a little trickier. And yeah, this is, I think, a tough one for people. And I don't think that there's good, I mean, the typical sleep hygiene advice turn off your screens before you go to bed, blah, 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 blah. I think we've all done that and gone, yeah, it didn't really do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I go to sleep with the TV on a sleep timer. So again, like but I sleep great. I have very good quality sleep. The first thing I always tell people is to make sure they're drinking enough water. I'm not saying that's anyone's particular problem, but a lot of times dehydration actually can cause poor sleep quality. One of the main minerals that people can be low on is magnesium, and that affects sleep quite a bit. So I'll always recommend magnesium. And then we actually have a product on our line that on our supplement line that's a fat burner sleep enhancer. I've never taken it because I don't need it. But I've had multiple people that have used it that say that it's very, very effective and has helped them change their sleep and even better on their watches that they track. But I think with sleep, there's just so many things that could be the issue. I think you just have to try one thing
Yeah.
at a time. I always go for natural things first. So improving your sleep hygiene to see if it does make a difference. Caffeine intake. So I personally won't drink any caffeine after 2. And typically, the only caffeine that I drink is first thing in the morning when I get up, and I won't drink any more in the day unless I'm really craving coffee. But if it's after 2, I literally won't do it because I know that it affects my sleep.
Yeah, I think you're right. The caffeine thing, I mean, sadly, I think where we're leaning on that is that you're going to have to experiment. And humans don't
Yeah,
like experimenting. We like paint by numbers.
I know. But if I were to say first 3 things, I would say caffeine intake, try the sleep hygiene things, and water intake. That's what I always start with people. And then this one's a little bit more, mindfulness, but a lot of people just have trouble relaxing or letting go of the things in their head. So I'll always tell them to actually journal before they go to bed, like write down every single thing that's spinning through your head, put it on paper and then set it aside. And that's actually made a big difference, especially for some of my female clients who tend to, get stuck in their head, can't go to sleep. It wakes them up in the night. But sleep is a tough one. It really is. Our bodies are always working in one way or another, whether we want them to or not.
That is a fact. Okay, do we have a number five?
4, wait, we have four first.
Well,
So
I thought
4 is,
I thought four was in the
wait, what have I
mindfulness.
covered?
Yeah,
Oh,
four.
no, that was just a bonus.
Oh, okay, great.
That was a bonus. 4 is working out. So I do think it is important to lift weights 2 to 3 times a week. I think that for multiple reasons, including having muscle is what boosts metabolism, and metabolism is important to body function. I also think it's very important for bone density. You need something that has some weight or some impact to it to prevent bone loss as you're aging. And it really does help with fat burning and weight loss when you're lifting weights. It's almost more important than cardio. I don't do a ton of cardio. Active, yes. Forced cardio, not really. I do think it's important for people to lift weights, and it doesn't have to be hour and a half long workouts, lifting as heavy as you can, but just getting some sort of weight, whether it's a kettlebell or even a band or whatever it is, just having some resistance training a couple times a week, I think is really important.
And that's another one,
Um,
sadly, where you're going to have to experiment to find what works for you, and it will
yes.
change over time. And again, I'm lifting lighter weights more until I can't lift light weights rather than doing,
Yes.
heavy squats, heavy deadlifting, which I used to do and I used to love doing because I'm 5'5", 145. I used to love going into a gym where there's all these, big muscly dudes who are deadlifting 400 and they'd, finish and start to unrack the weights. So, no, no, you can leave those. And then I'd bring a couple
Yeah.
more plates and they're like, what the hell? So, I miss those days, but oh well.
Yeah. No, I can't do that anymore either. Although I will say that my upper body strength is kind of freakish, definitely genetic, I'm sure, and just years and years of lifting. So I'm usually lifting more than the guys next to me in the gym when I'm doing arms and stuff. And I'm like, I almost try and turn away though. Like I feel bad. I'm like, I'm gonna go over here. I want you to keep working out. I want you to feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if you are a single person or a not single person, but I'm sure if you are a single person, the worst thing you could do to get picked up in a gym is outlift the guys who might want to pick you up.
Luckily, I'm married, so I don't have to care. My husband and I actually run these businesses together. But at the same time, like, I just don't want to make people, I don't want people to quit because of me. Like, oh my gosh, that girl's lifting more than me. I can't do this anymore. I just envision them feeling bad about themselves. And I'm like, don't, you're doing amazing. Just keep going.
That's a riot. Okay, are we on to number five?
Number five. So number five is all about nutrition. It's actually, I would argue, my favorite topic in health and fitness, something that I could go on and on and all those things that I can't stand. There's a reason that diet has the word die in it. So really my simple tip for nutrition is to focus on protein. I think protein is very, very important for all of the things we talked about. It's what keeps you full so you don't have to eat all day or overeat. It's a founding building block in, muscle. And it really does help a lot of your bodily, even digestive function. So we always tell people to aim for about 1 gram of protein per desired weight pounds. So if you're looking to lose 50 pounds, whatever your desired weight is, you want to aim for about a gram of protein per desired body weight as a good goal. And that is high protein. And some people choose not to eat like that. And I can fully support that as well. And you can work with it. But if you ask me what the ideal nutrition plan is for someone who's trying to maintain muscle or lose body fat or change their body composition, it's going to be high protein, moderate carb, and probably lower fats. Again, it doesn't work for everybody. There are plenty of vegans and other people out there who've done miraculous things with their muscles and physical activity and all of that. But my opinion is high protein. And I do think it's one that is easier to do than some of the others. So it does keep it simple.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of those things where while drinking your protein is not necessarily ideal, it's something you can do. And
Yeah.
I will confess, I bought something a couple weeks ago just to be able to get more protein in kind of semi-supplemental form. I bought a Ninja Creamy, the ice cream maker.
Yes.
And I will also confess I haven't made any high protein ice creams yet because I discovered raspberry sorbet, which holy crap, that's amazing. And then I tested a couple of chocolate ice cream recipes and found one that is, I mean, luckily I'm not a bingey kind of guy, but it's the best ice cream I've ever had. So this weekend is it's my mission to do a couple protein experiments.
Yeah, stuff like that does it makes it more fun, right? I mean, there's so many things out there now too, on Instagram and other places, Pinterest, where you can find whatever craving you have, you can find a high protein recipe for it,
Oh,
and
I'm gonna promote something that I promoted before, and if you don't know about it, you're gonna like to know about it. I'm gonna hold it up and show you, and then tell me if you know about it, and then I'll describe what I'm holding up.
I don't, but I'm excited. I love new products.
Okay, so what I hold up is it's a protein bar called David, and I'm gonna hold it up so you can see again. So 28 grams of protein in only 150 calories and 0 grams of sugar, and I like to say they're kind of the second best tasting bars that I've had because there's one that I used to get that was the macros weren't nearly as good and it tasted more candy bar like, but they have a couple
Yeah.
flavors. They have a fudge brownie flavor and a peanut butter chocolate chip flavor that I could just eat all
Ooh,
day, every day. And if you go to davidprotein.com/zero, XERO, by the way, you get some special thing if you do that. But
I'm in.
but yeah, I mean, these things, I mean, the macros are just insane. And everyone who I've turned these on to, all of my fitness friends are like, oh my God, this is all we eat now. So yeah, you're right. There are all these incredible things that are available to make that easier for you. And that's one. I mean, I definitely have one of those every day.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. I'm always looking for, I don't eat a lot of protein bars because most of them are
Horrible.
not great.
Yeah,
Really
horrible.
bad, actually. When we tell people, when they come in, they'll be like, "Oh, I have a protein bar." I'm like, "You probably don't. You probably have a carb bar. Bless your heart." So like, let's not eat those, and let's find other ways to get our protein in because I can't trust any of them. I'm like, if you're really serious about it, bring me the box. I'll look at it. But if you can't read most of the ingredients and the macros aren't there, that it's probably not the best thing for you to put in your
Yeah,
body.
well, and for people who are hip to Peter Attia, Peter is the science advisor for this company. So that's a big part of it. I mean, the, check them out. You'll see. I'll send, or yeah, just if you reach out to them, they might be nice and just send you something. So yes, the protein thing, it is very interesting. And it's definitely one that you've got to, again, experiment with to find what works for you, depending on what you eat. I mean, genetic thing where meat tastes like metal to me. It
Ooh,
just tastes kind of metallic like the iron from hemoglobin. And so I don't eat meat. So I have to find other ways of doing that are palatable. And that's, yeah, it's a thing.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's possible, for people to get protein in from lots of different sources. It's just focused eating, basically.
Yeah.
But I think it's easier than, I mean, now, again, it depends on your goal, right? So, like, when I'm trying to lose body fat, like I'm on a cut right now, like I have to eat so specifically
Yeah.
that I'm going to eat, I'm going to track everything. I track my protein, my carbs, my fats. Then I'll get to a place where I'm tracking my sodium, and it's a different level, but most people don't need to do that. And I think when they see people doing that and they use that, it's really hard. It's really hard to track everything you eat and to hit multiple different goals. And so I think really just keeping it simple, if you're eating enough protein and filling it in with, other healthy fruits and vegetables and some, simple carbs, you're going to be fine. You're going to be making progress just at that point. So I think it just makes it a lot simpler than some of the stuff that is out there. And it's not a diet, it's how you should eat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's something that every now and then I'll see some article that's about, the best way you should eat. And I read it and I go, that's so close to what I'm already doing. It's just, I thought it was going to be something
yeah.
special, but it's really like I eat a lot of fruit, I eat a good
And
amount of
eventually it
veggies.
just comes naturally. Again, all of this stuff should be lifestyle stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the goal should be lifestyle change, and even if you only do one habit at a time, one change at a time, you're still making progress, and that's what it's about.
Well, and again, for me, out of sight, out of mind. So I always have a bunch of fruit around, both in the fridge and out of the fridge. So I've got my favorite apples. I have one right here. This is actually my second favorite. This is a Cosmic Crisp apple, not Honey Crisp.
Oh yeah, we have those here.
Cosmic Crisp are good. And then sugar bees is a new variety that I love. So I've always got those. I've always got some pineapple cut up in the fridge, some grapes in the fridge, a bunch of kiwis on the counter. So it makes it easier when I know I need a something. That's what I'm reaching for.
Yep.
And it's not, it's not just, well, it's because I like them. But if they aren't there, then I'll do something
Yeah,
else.
exactly.
Yeah. And I explicitly never bring potato chips into the house because they won't last for very long.
Yeah, I think, just like movement, I think eating can be enjoyable and you don't have to eliminate food groups and do all those things out there to be successful and, have the body composition that you want. Yeah, you do have to not eat fast food every day and, you know,
That
put some healthy things in your body, but it doesn't have to be as hard as it sometimes is explained.
No, one of our secrets, and it was an inadvertent secret, is my wife and I have become complete chocolate snobs. So we don't have a bar of chocolate in our house that costs less than $10, and we have enough chocolate to survive the apocalypse. But they all last forever because we'll have like
Yeah.
one square. It's like, less than 10 grams, and that's all you
Mhm.
want. It's just too rich for anything else. So
Yep.
that's one of my favorites. And here I'll do a shout out for a company called Bar and Cocoa, BARANDC, Cocoa, COCOA, yeah, .com.
Yeah.
Used to be in Denver, all mail order, all like, single bean, single origin, unbelievably good stuff. And they were the ones who we had been chocolate snobs before we discovered them, but when we discovered them, it brought our snobbery to a level that is just
Really elevated you.
it is obnoxious to a point of we can't go to dinner parties. I mean, it's really bad. So
I love it.
yeah, it's a good one. All right. Anything else that we can think of on our theme of making fitness not something that looks like you're not having fun?
I think your message of it being enjoyable, I think that people try to box themselves in and, you know, be out of the box, find movement you enjoy, find foods you enjoy. And I think the other thing that people get stuck on that I talk about all the time is like, this isn't about perfection, this is about consistency.
Mm,
So being consistent over time is so much more important than being really good for a week or a month. If you mess up, don't say, oh, now I have to start over and I'm going to wait a week. So I've accused myself of that. Like I'll miss a Monday workout and I'll be like, oh, this week is shot. I'll just wait till next Monday, which that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I said it to someone else. I'm like, if you forgot to brush your teeth in the morning, you wouldn't wait a week to brush them. You would brush them that night.
yeah, I forgot to brush my teeth,
You
so I may as well
remember.
just, I
So
may as well
just
just
whatnot.
pull them all out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. I screwed up, so I'm out of the game now. No, just get back on the horse, be consistent. If you have a cheat day or a cheat meal or a cheat week, it's okay. Life is long. Life is short, but life is long. And, getting back to the things you need to do and just consistency over time is really what matters.
Yeah, that is the number one thing. And again, speaking from just recent personal experience, I mean, now that I've been doing this lifting that I've been doing, 3 times a week, every week for the last year, has I've seen more changes in my body. In fact, I said to the trainer that I'm working with, I said, I don't have a frame of reference for what's changing. I mean, the way we're doing lifting, I don't see that I'm just lifting more weight every time because that's not the kind of workout that it is. But I just have no
Right.
sense of it. Like here's some of the changes that I've had in my measurements. And he said, dude, if you were 25, that would be impressive. And I'm not,
Yeah.
patting myself on the back. It's just like the consistency has had more impact on me than everything else I've ever done.
Yes, that's where the results are. The results are in consistency. And I think that crosses over way beyond health and fitness. I think that
Yeah.
goes into relationships and business and really any goal you have,
I
consistency
like,
is where
yes,
results come from. So,
yes,
absolutely.
I like how we're going to end on consistency while we've had inconsistent internet connection the entire time we've had this conversation. So I hope that people have been able to tolerate the 2-second glitches that we've had like every 5 minutes. Well, Ariana, this has been a total dream and treat. If people want to get in touch with you and find out more about how what you're doing and how you can be helpful for them wherever they are, how would they do that?
Yeah. Yeah, so if they're interested in reading a little bit more, getting more information on the 5 simple tips, they can go to lunafitjourney.com. So LUNAFITJOURNEY.com. If they just want to see what we do, learn more about us, or if they want to be right now a beta tester for our app, which that would be a dream for me. The more the better. We're looking for tons of feedback in the next few months. They can go to lunafitapp.com to find how they can download our app. And then everything we do is at lunafit.com. So, a few ways that they can get in touch with us. And we do a little bit of everything. So, we would love to hear from people.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I would love that people do take advantage of that. And I'd love to hear what they experience when they do connect with you. And do let me know because that will happen. So, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And for everybody else, thank you as well. Quick reminder, go to www.jointhemovementmovement.com to find out all the previous episodes, find out where you can find us on social media and other places to get the podcast if you want to get it somewhere other than where you already did. And also, if you have any requests, any suggestions, anybody you want to think I should talk to on the show, including anyone who, you think might think that I have a case of cranial rectal reorientation syndrome. I'm happy to have those conversations. Hasn't happened yet. I'm really dying to have someone who wants to chat with me who thinks I'm completely full of it. That would be very entertaining. And what else? What else? Again, spread the word. Give us a thumbs up, give us a like on Facebook, give us hit the bell icon and subscribe on YouTube. Again, like I said, if you want to be part of the tribe, just subscribe. And if I didn't say it, yeah, send all those requests to move at jointhemovementmovement.com. That's how I will hear them. But most importantly, no matter what you're doing, go out, have fun, and live life feet first.